Hello. Trying to see if this mic works. I think it may. I think it might. I want to test this out and see how this all looked. And also, mostly, I just was going to paint, so I figured, why not? Why not film it? So anyway, this is just a little, I guess, gargoyle that I sketched up. I'm gonna watercolor and gouache it for the heck of it. And yeah, see how it goes. Because why not? I hope you are having a fantastic day. Just getting some colors ready. I just chaos paint. Just mixed stuff together, and as of now, there's no real set plan. I just kind of do wild stuff, see what happens. I was kind of hoping to get maybe a sunset effect. The one thing I do know is to start with just a watercolor base, maybe get the effect of some light glow here off these supposed buildings. I just want to do warm colors up top, and the gargoyle is going to actually be, I think he's going to be cool colors. I'm not totally sure how this is all going to pan out. No one knows. So I always like to just start with a loose base. Straight up bass. Just turn the speakers up as loud as you can. Start bumping that 808. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know why my night sky is red, but it is. My sunset sky. But anyway, like I always say, because you would know that, what I've learned from studying other painters and stuff is you can easily, I don't know what it is, if you block stuff out, you see the vision quicker. So knowing that all this is going to be painted over anyway, it kind of doesn't matter. And it just lends it to effect to have a lot of layers anyway. I had an art teacher in high school that always drilled that point home. Let's see. Can you tell I've never painted sunset buildings? Thank goodness we can look at reference photos without any obstacles, using that, what the kids call the World Wide Web. Alright, I'm not totally sold on this red sky, but we'll see what happens. Might do the buildings and the red, actually, I don't know. Who knows what's happening here. But this way, at least my brain understands what I'm doing. What I'm going to try and pull off here, basically. We get some darks in here underneath this gargoyle. That's what they call them. They don't take it that seriously. Again, this is just a watercolor wash. I could do this in watercolor. It's a whole different technique. That's not really what I'm shooting to learn this time period, so underwash with the watercolor. I love watercolor, soft and whatever. I just don't vision this as a soft painting in my head. It can have soft undertones though, like the way watercolor is pretty fun anyway. The way it lends to it is great. It's kind of I mean, like, I don't know, you can do very solid things with it, but I feel like it's very wispy in nature, very like dreamlike, which is pretty fun too. So yeah, this is very sloppy watercoloring that I'm doing right now, but it's because I know it's going to be painted over, and it's just to establish value in composition, basically. VCRUB, my art teacher used to say, is an acronym we had to learn. It's a variety, contrast, repetition, unity, and balance. This looks pretty dark on my monitor. It's not as dark as I'm painting it, but that's good, whatever. So, like I say, I'm just filling up space here, just kind of getting a rough idea, giving myself plenty to paint over. But again, that's what's dope about watercolor is like I can drag this water up, and it'll kind of lend to a ghostly effect when it dries. And this is a watercolor block, so it's rad. You can get these like super duper wet, and it doesn't even matter. It won't like buckle the paper permanently because they're all glued down on the sides. If you work with watercolor, you know what I'm talking about. Like, you can just as easily prep watercolor paper. I kind of hate both because I tend to work on like 15 artworks at a time. I always have. Once I like learned about the Impressionist masters and like that's how they worked, a lot of them, like, it's just like that's brilliant because my brain just jumps from idea to idea. But so I like to work on some stuff and then switch over and work on something else and whatever. And so sometimes watercolor blocks are annoying because I have to like just do something start to finish without like beating the bush, as it were. But at the same time, that's also a good skill to have, is to be able to sit down and create an artwork in a sitting. So again, this is just undercolor, underpainting, whatever you want to call it. This is again just me practicing gouache watercolor mix. I have drawing and painting and stuff kind of down, but I don't really, I mean, I know these mediums, I'm decent at them, but I wouldn't mind getting better. So why not do the natural thing and film yourself talking to yourself and painting? That seems like a good way to go about it. So yeah, I just think it's gonna stand out. I think it's just gonna look better. Him being cool colors in contrast to the background being warmer colors. Maybe he represents the night coming. Maybe. They mostly come at night. Mostly. Give the building some more silhouette, maybe. I don't know. Again, this doesn't matter. That's like a problem I always have when I first started painting. I think everybody will have is Like something like this looks like pure shit. Let's just be honest. It looks like gobbledygook. You would look at this and be like, this dude doesn't even know how to draw or whatever. I don't know. Like it just doesn't look good. But that's the whole. I don't know. There's a process to all of this, and you have to have patience. And you have to learn your style too. I mean, this is like many years of whatever. Everything from illustration, sculpting, all the fun stuff. So anyway, I feel like I got like a good base layer down. And I can start to mess with the thicker gouache, as it were. I don't know what it is about pigments, but I feel like white always lends, like white of a good paint, a good opaque paint. I feel like it always lends like this special kind of blendiness, like, and coverage. Like I feel like you can grab like a white, like if you're doing like acrylic, you could grab like a white golden acrylic paint and mix it with like just the crappiest other paint, and it would still look really good and cover really well. Anywho, let's see here. Anywho, am I that old? Anywho, so, get off my lawn. Yeah, like a bluish, kind of want like a turquoise-ish color on this fella. He's a fella now. Oh, this fella here from Arkansas. He's just in town in a gargoyle. He hangs out on buildings. He won't cause me trouble. He kind of likes his name as well. I think one of the most boring things in the world you could ever do if you're painting is use colors right out of the tube. Maybe just my preference, but I feel like if you're not throwing a little bit of funk in there. Remember when you were a kid and you used those suicide colas with your friends? Oh man, what a daring proposition. We're such daredevils. We're gonna mix this, that, and this, these 4 flavors of soda together and whatever. Anyway, though, when I'm painting, I feel like that lends a lot to it. However, if you're like me and you just do it on the fly and you're not really paying attention to what you're doing, better make sure to like spread your colors around while you're painting, because otherwise you're probably gonna forget what you're mixing. Like, I do it all the time, and it's fine. Whatever, it is what it is. I don't like this brush at all. Why is this brush like this? Why are you built this way? It's like not. Maybe it's because it's still a little wet. I don't know. The brush is not cool. For right now, this is just a quick little painting, man. Come on. Hold me up, brush. So, at least I can tell quickly that that blue that I just laid down with the gouache is not the light color I was looking for. So, see, that brush is Korean. It's like working really well. So this is still a little darker than I would like, but it's cool. It's a nice opacity. Good starting point. Pretend that's what I want for my highlights. Until I just come back and add a little bit more white. And go right back over that real quick. It's all good though, actually. I'm just going for a little bit of coverage. Want some highlight coverage. Just want to thicken it out, give it some body, basically. If I had watercolored the background well, it would also look kind of cool to have the foreground be like more opaque and have like body and character and look like maybe more realism or realistic flair to it or whatever, with like the background looking kind of drawn or whatever. I don't know. I mean, I guess no matter what, he's gonna look somewhat drawn because of the face shape and stuff is pretty unnatural for people, but oh, that's why art is fun. You just do whatever you want to, whatever feels good. Who cares? Or if you really need to, you can just do the low-hanging fruit art and just make lots of money. And you're stuck to deadlines and making art you probably don't want to, and that sounds fun to you. Like, heck yeah, they need that too. I don't know who they is, but they know a lot of things. All right, for some reason this is shifted to a darker color, and this is just how I paint. Like, when stuff like this happens, all right, I'm just moving on to shading. I'll just shade some stuff. I also kind of have a general rule of thumb where I try to, no matter what, keep like the color palette somewhat the same on like the face and the neck and the stuff. And then if like there are instances where like the hand might be a little bit different, it's because I'll get like super into an area, something will come up, I won't return, the colors have like shifted or changed or whatever, and then it'll be like a slight bit off. But I feel like there's like something about the eye that doesn't register that, whereas like here to here you'll like notice it, but like if the hand's a little bit different, you're not really care. I don't know. I mean, to be honest, I usually don't think about most of this stuff. I usually just draw. But I'm trying to think about it more because people do. And it's probably smart to notice or know these things. Let's see here. I had a little QR code there. That was fun. If you want to see like more polished stuff that's not being worked on at the moment. Because I'm not gonna lie, this is like not. I don't know. Sometimes I'm pretty fast to make something look pretty cool, in my opinion. I mean, not because I'm like an arrogant weirdo, but because I've been drawing and painting for decades. So that's kind of what happens. Master something. Well, I don't think you can master art, but you know what I mean. Lots of hours. It's cool. But gouache is fairly new to me. I'm fascinated by it. It's like the coolest. It's like the mix of watercolor and acrylic, and something about it is just really fun for me. Like, it's like it fits the style of what I'm doing really well. Not light enough. So this is just like a little bit of green mixed with a very light blue, but you like kind of can't even tell the green, which is cool. Whatever. Again, I'll probably do like another layer on this, or just do like some pretty cool pen work. Since I understand learning curves and stuff, and it's not going to be most amazing. It's like my 4th gouache painting, so not super. I'm okay with it if I have to cover some of it up with a colored pencil or something else. Like, I'm not completely satisfied with the end result. But again, all of this, all of art, all of anything you are doing that is creative is muscle memory, practice, failure. So putting the hours in, putting the miles in is all that matters, right? He's alright. He's not being fleshed out as quickly as I would like, but that's cool. Get like a base color really quick, just kind of flesh them out a little bit more. I think I got a little bit too much water on this, which is why, like, gouache watered down then just basically becomes like a watercolor, but it kind of has the feel of an alcohol marker. I feel like it, like, you see this slop here. Like, I feel like when this dries, it's more uniform with gouache, and I don't know what that's all about. I'm sure it's a very easy answer, but again, don't always get into the whys of stuff that I like to do. If I like to do it, I just want to do it. If I think about it too much, it might kill the magic and the joy. Okay, so I got too much water on this brush. It's cool though. I'm just gonna flesh this out more. Try to figure out what I'm gonna do for those dark tones. This is another thing I seriously didn't learn until I was like 40. I've been drawing for probably 38 years at that time. Like, eyes, dude, eyes are never white. Like, ever. Ever. Highlights maybe, but eyes are never white. Like, we always draw them white. Like, if you look at someone's eyes, it never. So anyway, that's when I learned that, I was like, huh, that's pretty interesting. For drawing, at least, like, it looks more natural to have the eye slightly tinted the flesh color of the subject. So now I can go in and kind of loosely shadow what I want to shadow, get the highlights and lowlights and the mids. Just gonna flesh it together more without even trying. Simple magic, really. This is all obviously, this is like, I shouldn't say obviously, excuse me. This is all planes and stuff that you will learn while drawing. Like, the other thing I learned later, way later, was how much of painting, drawing, and everything is just kind of tricking the eye. Because I don't know if any of you have ever done this, but you'll be drawing something. You'll have a reference photo. The photo's cool. Can't really figure out why. It's just a cool picture. You want to draw it. And no matter what you do, like, it just looks super goofy. Like, like, no matter how, I don't know, there are some like poses and some things, I swear, that are impossible to make look normal, like redrawn. Like if you draw it perfectly, it looks goofy, but if you exaggerate it or something, like, it looks good. I don't know how to explain it. Let me see if I can mess with this camera real quick. Because it looks like this is just slightly off, which is fine, whatever, but if I can get this color correction, that'd be cool. I don't know, I think it's just gonna, whatever, it's good enough. Probably move them back over into the light a little bit more. That's cool, whatever. Anywho, why am I saying that? It'll just automatically turn 50 if you say it like 3 times. So now, like super loose highlight. I don't even think this is gonna work. Actually, I think this brush is way too wet. Where is my paper towel? So yeah, now I could, if I wanted to, just for the sake of my brain liking this more, I might do these buildings in like a gouache. I think I'm gonna do like a, man, like I think I want to do like an orange. But possibly with a little bit of black in there. I don't know. Who knows? But orange and blue obviously complement each other very well. And alt. They call it alt now. See, now I get this like more thick layer in. It's gonna make this more of a serious artwork. Again, like I said, if I had done a better job on the background with the watercolor, it may not have needed this at all, and it might have looked fine. I mean, even now, like that gargoyle is gonna get like a lot more attention. But I'm still learning this medium, so trying to just kind of figure this out and get it to look good. But see how this dried there? I mean, like this is like, it's like really even. Where here it's not so much. I mean, it's the same brand as Holbein. Is it Holbein? Holbein? I don't know what it is. But the really good, it's the good stuff, man. Some good gouache for you. And good watercolor. So I don't know, maybe just my haste, my looseness of it, not spending a lot of time. Like I said, I just want to get the background filled in, and then I get to work, which is really fun for me. So even this, even if I like go over this in gouache and kind of just fill it out, make it more palatable for my brain, where it's like smoother and not just like a, I mean, I don't even mind sloppy stuff. It just looks like a kid went crazy. Like it doesn't even look like someone with any knowledge of anything did any of it. So that's my only issue. I don't care if there's paint strokes. I don't care if it's like sloppy. That's cool, but it should look good, in my opinion. So for now, this is like kind of another just stand-in layer. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do here, but that's the other thing I used to do, is sit there and be paralyzed. I'm like, I shouldn't say paralyzed, but I'd draw something cool and be like, all right, well, I'm going to finish it. And then I'd be like scared to finish it. So I'm like, I'm going to ruin this. But like, how many hours of our lives do we waste like overthinking stuff? We can just do it. Like, why do we hold ourselves to such like crazy standards? I mean, it's great that we do, but I'm telling you, so much of everything is just about doing it. Take that leap, and you'll find at least you'll feel better knowing you did something, even if it sucks. Because guess what? Now you're already past that stage, right? You're already past the like what I did wrong. This is no different. I mean, like, you probably heard this 1,000 times. But it's the same with like everything, right? Like, just do stuff. Just do it. We put stuff off. We like overthink it. We talk ourselves out of shit. It's kind of pointless. Just do it. Like, I don't know. You just feel so much better after you get these obligations taken care of. Procrastination is like fun once in a while. And chill on your couch and watch like some TV or something instead. need like a day to like decompress or whatever. Yeah, like that's great. But dude, I don't know. I was in a habit of always putting stuff off. This still looks like shit on camera, doesn't it? Why is that? I mean, like it's not like the prettiest thing in the world here either, but alrighty. No, so here it didn't like do the same thing. I was like, maybe it'll dry smooth. I guess it's not super wet, but I should just use a big brush and just block that in really well. But I don't really care. Yeah, I'm just testing this stream. I'm just gonna watch it later, just make sure it looks cool, whatever sounds good. See if the music levels are good. See if anyone watched. Now I'm just gonna see if this application of water on here like somehow puts this all together, as it were. But yeah, it's always fun to try new mediums. I'm like really happy. I tried gouache once. I got like a really cheap set, and I absolutely hated it. That was a long time ago. It was way before I even learned like watercolor and stuff. And way before I got patient with some things I'm just really good at when I pick them up, just from like it's sort of like some languages kind of lend to other languages and stuff. Some mediums just lend to other mediums, or some musical instruments just lend to other musical instruments, and then it's super easy and stuff. Some mediums though are like that, and then others are not at all. And that was a very frustrating like learning curve for me. But I don't know. I've chilled out since. I used to like get really beat up over thinking I like sucked at any sort of medium, which is the weirdest thing ever, because that's like not even the point of art at all. Like you shouldn't even be comparing our anything in life to anyone else. It's a really strange thing that we do. It doesn't even make sense. But I do it still to this day. See a painter that I like love, start comparing myself to them. Like, why am I doing that? It doesn't do you any favors, you know. And like besides that, like who cares? That's that person. That's not you. I don't know why this is so wet today. I shouldn't even say it like it's like just today. It wasn't somehow like the way I'm applying paint or something. Let's see here. How can I make this dude stand out even more? Definitely needs a lot of shadow. Got like a few more minutes to play around before I have to run. Let's see what I can do in that time. Matter of fact, I should get a bigger brush, do this in broader strokes, because it's not that hard to do. Although I think this brush is just a freaking mop. It just picks up so much water. That's not really what I wanted at all, but it could be kind of fun. Not really. I don't really like that blue at all. It doesn't even really go with this. This gargoyle's not that kind of blue, man. So I'm gonna drag this color out, this blue, a little bit, because it'll still help with everything. And it'll still lend to it, and it still works for shadows It adds like an atmosphere of its own, so that's cool. Whatever, we'll run with it. But this is not the blue I was looking for. These are not the droids you're looking for, bruh. Obi Bro Kenobi. So let's see. A little bit more of this blue here. Should be in here too. The shoulder, the tricep. Definitely that shoulder here is supposed to be like one of the darkest parts, but alright, so now what I need to do, which I was going to just kind of ignore, I need to make it gray real quick. Because this dude should be maybe grayish blue or something. I just feel like there's a gray missing in here somewhere. That would like lend a lot of feeling to this. If I can open this up right back. I can't get this tube of paint open. All those hours at the gym. I have a different black. Cool, I'll use this black. Yeah, I think I want more of like a muddy blue, and I think that will solve every issue I'm mentally having about this so far. Yeah, that's what's up. All right, I'm gonna have like a blue. It'll look gray probably, just pretty gargoyle-y, I guess, but that's not really what I want. But I think it'll look better. Get a little more blue than that. And a little bit darker. This is what I call the Detroit Lions blue. Now this is gonna cook, dude. This is gonna look good now. And a little bit of that other blue will shine through. That was not supposed to be me rapping, but I mean, I guess if it rhymes, right? And see, I don't have to worry about being like sloppy. Like there, I kind of went over a line, whatever, but this all will be fixed on the next layer. And that's the beauty of it, is trusting the final plan. Also, I feel like being loose with stuff, being a little bit reckless, lends so much to the atmosphere and character of the artwork. But there's this weird like thin line too, where there's like control involved, and the eye can like it can't just be like sloppy for sloppy, like a crappy artwork. Like your eye notices that too. Like your eye has probably noticed the background of this painting, and you're like, geez Louise, this guy. But it's alright. It fixes up. So now I'll just add like a bunch of white to that same blue gray that I just made. And now should be able to come in and make this a little bit wilder. I don't know, maybe not. It's hard to say. Painting's crazy. And I have this really good technique where sometimes when a painting needs it, and it's a watercolor, you just illustrate on it, man. Like, I could cover this up with lines and it would look really groovy, even as it is right now. So, not super worried about it, but that wasn't really what I was going for. Which is fine, whatever. But that's basically the whole gist of art, right? I mean, I don't know. I shouldn't say that. There's a lot of artists who are very well intentioned and execute like amazingly. I don't know. They do it with their first go at a medium or even like their seventh, but hell yeah, if they do. Excuse me with my sniffles. I don't even have the sniffles. I don't even know what's happening. I did just have like a really good hot burrito though, so that's probably what it was. What it was. So now he looks more stone, which is fine. It wasn't really what I was going for, but I feel like the gray lends like a bit of a fun effect. And I can go back and add some blue too. And some white highlights. Now it's starting to take a little bit of form that I like. It still looks off, but that's painting. That's art. And it's me being chaotic too. Like, had I pre-mixed all these colors and like understood, knew what I was doing, and had a game plan, it would probably be a little bit different. But I like painting this way. This is just how I like to paint. I think it's fun, and also frustrating. Like, make no qualms about it. It can be very frustrating painting this way. But again, how will you ever grow if you're not knocking yourself outside of your element? Like, you won't. So then now this is when I would start thinking about maybe some actual definition to really make this stand out. I like that color. This is a fun process in itself. Something weird is happening with this shade, but that's cool. Like, I like that you can still see the detail in this character. I like that he looks a lot more hashed, like fleshed out and stuff. If I really wanted to, like just for fun, because I am looking at it and I'm like, I'm not really like in love with it or whatever, because I already know what I want it to look like. This isn't it. You could always like line it a little bit too, if you wanted to. If I was like, I'm losing details here that I want to keep or stuff. This is hard to do with a camera. Alright, that's wet. Let's see here. Like, I seriously don't know why this is so wet. Like, I barely wet it on purpose. And anyway, who cares? That's like a fun thing I've been doing too. It's like inking. I mean, this is like brushwork that everyone did for a billion years in comics, right? Like, it's very fun, very painstaking. Some would even say evil. But I'm grabbing like this really watery section. It's not working as well as I would like. That's like the weirdest thing about gouache, though, consistency, like the water you need it like right at like this specific consistency for it to work. And you'll figure it out. It's not like it's like hard. It's just it's kind of weird. If you take any sort of break from it, you'll like almost like certainly forget the ratios and stuff too, which makes it difficult. I don't know. It's probably like the easiest medium for someone else. Which is great. Good. I am like such a sucker for lines, so it's always hard for me to do stuff without them. Oops. Well, now his ear is straight as I want it to be. So, anyway, sometimes I do that when I'm like in a moment where I'm like, this isn't like exactly what I wanted to be. And I feel like that's very helpful. I'm going to add a little bit here, which is the same color that's already there, so you won't even notice it. And then, just for fun, one of my favorite things, I have a wet white. Can't really do this with like a white that's already dried. I do also like to add little highlights to make it come to life more. Let's see here. I'll just do it. Then I'm going to cut this stream and call it a day. I think my favorite thing is adding the little highlights. It just lends life to them. Like this brush actually is not a good gouache brush. It's all good though. You can make it be with water. Lots of water, but it's not uniform, and it's not like ideal. What I really was actually aiming for was this white of the eye. Maybe even... that's horrible. Art is funny. I'm like, I gotta go. And I'm like, I don't know. I can't like leave an eye that way. Yikes. This brush. It's cool. You can make anything look good, really, but it's frustrating when a brush is like not great. Whoops. I was gonna try to fix that eyelid. That's hilarious. Whatever. Actually looks kind of cool. I'll have to fix that when it dries. I like this ear shape. Pretty rad. This all blend back in. So at least we have this area here. I like. It's coming along okay. This will be a cool painting. It really will. It just sucks because this is taking way longer than I already thought it was going to take. But it's because I had no planning ahead of time, which is fine. We all do things. Let me see something real quick though. Maybe. Maybe just using this orange up on these buildings might help it a little bit, but maybe not. It does look like it's at least filling it in. It doesn't look so amateur. Makes me extremely happy, actually. Ain't no amateurs here, man. Yeah, alright. I guess technically his arm is resting on like a brick building or something. That was like the point originally, so this will take a little bit of red, yellow, this blue, who gives a shit. I'm just mixing a bunch of colors together. Color this little stump in and his hands on. For now. Which did nothing. But see, now he looks dark, which is rad, because then highlighting him with like in the next coat of gouache, probably the next session tomorrow morning, I'll be able to actually finish him in a way that I like, and it'll look really cool, I feel like. And then I can add if I want to, I could add inks over it, sort of like in this fashion. Or if you look at my artwork on this site or anywhere, you'll see that's like what I love to do is line work. Anyway, so anywho, I swear to God, I'm never gonna say that again. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.